It is not just what we say, but it's what we are that's really going to come over to the children. Okay, so now let's look at the responsibility. Let's start this side. Oh no, you started last time. You start this time. Okay. Right. Yes.
We can change about the attitude of the student.
Attitude.
Something like character, that's like this.
Okay.
I think the teacher has to be able to inform the students about the development of their values, their character, or their even their points or their marks. Thank you.
Okay.
Teacher can transport knowledge the student character, give evaluative to draw out the value from inside.
Okay. So we see here a lap, an overlap between the role and the responsibility. Yes, okay. Next group.
Okay. The responsibility of the teacher is not only to teach, to transfer knowledge to the student, but also to educate them, guide them to use their mind and heart.
Okay, good.
Inspiring.
Inspire, okay. Good. Okay. Let's see what I have here. Now, I've put here to draw out the inner divinity. And what I mean by that is the real potential that is within a child. Something that's sacred, something that is there, that is inside every human being, and we need to bring this out. We can call it the values, we can call it whatever. To create an atmosphere. How much we spend creating an atmosphere in our houses. We spend a lot of money. I want my bedroom to be like this, I want my living room to be like this, I want my kitchen to be like this. And we really put a lot of effort into it, but how much do we really put into our classroom? We want to create the kind of atmosphere that the children want to come there. And it doesn't mean spending a lot of money. Just starting with silent sitting is creating an atmosphere. Playing some music is creating an atmosphere. Teaching from a loving heart, this is creating an atmosphere. So we need to, it's not just what we put on the walls, it's how we conduct our classes. To guide and motivate the students. To contact and interact with parents. I feel this is a very big responsibility of the teachers, that we need to keep contact. Yes, we need the two hands. We need to work together with the parents. So we need to find opportunities where we can interact with the parents. To be knowledgeable about the children's backgrounds. I am sure that even however difficult a child may be or their behavior may be, if we really look down into it, we can see it comes from their background. It comes from, something that's happened to them as a child or their family. So it's very helpful to really know the backgrounds of the children. It makes us a lot more compassionate. And it makes us a lot more understanding of why a child is behaving in such a way. To inculcate awareness in the children, both individually and in society, so the children become aware of their responsibility as an individual and in society, what we need to do to help our society. To be willing to learn. As teachers, we need to be willing to learn. UNESCO have talked about lifelong learning. That learning is not just what you learn in school, it's for the whole life. And in fact, I think many people start learning more when you leave school than when you actually are at school. So it's a whole lifetime of learning. And what I think we also have to really learn with the children and learn from the children. In many ways, I learn more from the children than they learn from me. Teachers should always bear in mind their sacred role and responsibility. If one child is bad, it does not matter at all. But if one teacher shows lapses, the whole class, the whole group of children may go astray. It will ruin thousands of children. So we see now our responsibility. We can't say to the children, don't smoke, and then we go home and we start smoking. You know, what we're saying doesn't have the weight of our practice. Okay, how to be an effective teacher. Let's start with the group over here. Can you tell us, please, how to be an effective teacher?
How to know, how to master the contents, how to transfer the contents,
Sorry, I can't hear.
and teach the student come from heart to heart, not mind to mind.
Thank you. Okay, this group over here.
The teacher has to be an example and use the heart and mind.
Make a joyful class.
Joyful class.
Yes.
The teacher should be mass the matter can to abstract until to concrete. From abstract until concrete. It should be concrete to.
Oh. Okay, one more group.
As a teacher, must mastering pedagogic like methodology and etc. Thank you.
To have unity of head, heart, and hands. What the head thinks should be examined by the heart and then put into practice by the hands. Very often we think one thing, we say another, and we do another. But we should have that unity of thought, word, and deed also. Self-transformation. You know, we keep talking about the transformation of the children, but we have to work on our own self-transformation, which is a lifetime work. Teaching through the heart, not just through the head. To be connected to the source within. Now, again, you know, it's like this master's touch. Not just to have the master's touch, but to feel the master's touch ourselves, and to feel that connection so we can pass this on to children. And this is very important to have faith, or to have the belief in something, so that we can really pass this on to our students. Now, to me, this is very important, to impart sacredness into the teaching profession or the teaching process. It's become so sort of matter of fact. And I think one of the problems with our world today is there is less and less sacredness. Everything is just blunt. And if we can make things more beautiful, more sacred, more special, even in the classroom, you know, that's what touches the children. To have a sense of humility. We have one child here in the school who has an incredible mind. He's in grade 6. And he's always asking the most extraordinary questions. I mean, he's a local boy from Thailand. And he comes and asks me questions like, what was the policy of King Henry VIII in England? And it's like, what? You know, where's he getting this from? And then he asked me about Napoleon, and then he asked me about all these incredible things, and half of them I don't know. So I say to him, give me some time, I'll find out. Or we'll find out together. And he will always come and ask me, have you found out? Do you know the answer? So we have to have that humility. It's very easy sometimes to say, just answer something because we're the teacher, you know, we need to know the answer. But I think it also makes us more available to the children if we show our weaknesses as well, that maybe we don't know everything. And sometimes, you know, I'm an English teacher, but I don't always spell very correctly. And sometimes the children tell me, actually, are you sure it's spelled like that? And I say, well, let's look it up. And, and it's all right. You know, it's all right to show our humanness. To have a sense of humor. Yes. Yours is the most noble service to the country. You have to dedicate yourself, heart and soul, in this work, hard though it may be. It will be the most rewarding ultimately, and will do the greatest good to the country. Now, just looking on these 3 H's, we just look at what it really means, that there is unity between what we think, what our heart tells us, and what we do in action. So it is unity of thought, word, heart, and deed. The reason we put heart there is that we could say that a robber has unity of thought, word, and deed, but they are not the necessarily good thoughts or good words or good deeds. But if we use the heart element, then it's like the filter. It will help us to do what is right. Okay, so we've looked at the role of the teacher. Let's go on. E.M. Forster said, all a child's life depends on the ideal it has of its parents. Destroy that and everything goes. Morals, behavior, everything. Absolute trust in someone is the essence of education. Now, we all need to have a role model. And this is one of the problems today, is that the role models are not so clear. And so children go and get other role models, normally film stars, pop stars. They become the role models because the children are wanting to look up to something or somebody. Now, if you think about it, to become a teacher, how long does it take? How many years do you have to study to be a teacher? Yeah, maybe 20 years, you're right. Because you have to study all the primary school, secondary school, then you go on to teachers' college or university. But just think about it. How long do you study to become a parent? You don't. It happens overnight. One day you're not a parent, the next day you're a parent. And you have a little being that's looking up to you as being God. And everything that you say, everything that you do, that's going to be copied. I think in the old days, when there was extended family, yeah, there was the grandparents with a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience, aunts and uncles, and all helping in bringing up a child. But nowadays, most parents have to bring up their children on their own. Can you all a little quiet, please? Please. So it's very difficult to be a parent nowadays. And we'll see some of the problems or the challenges that are facing parents today. All over the world, this is becoming an increasing problem, is broken homes. Now, not even necessarily the husband and wife breaking up, but the whole family is not together like before. You see this, to me, a really very clear example is in a very progressive city, and I see this like in Singapore, where the government has this policy to help people have better living standards. But what happens with that is the family gets broken up. People are taken from their villages, they're taken from the old settlements and put in these high-rise buildings where you don't even know your next-door neighbor. The families are not together. So it's leaving a big gap. There's a lack of unity, and there's a lot of domestic violence. I was just reading in the newspaper, actually it was on the internet this morning, of some woman who put their baby in a microwave oven. These really crazy things that are happening, you know. Parents are too busy to spend time with their children. And it's like this vicious circle. I remember once reading a poem about time-saving devices. And it was a very funny poem. And it talked about spending all your time making enough money so that you could buy these time-saving devices, but then you don't have, in the end, you don't end up having any time to enjoy them. So it's like a vicious circle that's going on. I want my child to have everything. So I'm working, and my wife's working, and everybody's working. But what does my child really want? My child really wants me. You know, and we don't have time. So this is a big problem. Insufficient monitoring of TV, computer games, and internet. I think Dr. Jumsai will have mentioned to you about that terrible incident that happened many, many years ago in America, in Colorado. Yeah. Well, after that happened, they did a survey throughout the country, asking children and teenagers how much their parents know about the internet that they are going to. And it was very interesting. A very, very small percentage had any idea of what the children look at in the internet. And I think especially in Asia, where things have changed so quickly, from last generation to this generation, it's something completely different. And the parents, a lot of parents don't even understand about computers, and so they think child in front of the computer, it's a good thing. But they don't know what they are looking at. And also, this boy who was the mastermind of this incident in Colorado, his name was Eric Harris. And he was actually a webmaster. He had his own website and created websites. And after he died, they broke into his website. And the whole thing was like a game. And many experts